Hi YouTube, my name is Heather and I love anti-MLM content here on YouTube. Today I'm really excited for us to watch a corporate Beachbody training video from the VP of Compliance, Jemima Weschler. Now, while I was watching this video, at a few points, her audio and her mouth moving was not connected, but I think it's okay because we can clearly hear what she's saying. I'm really excited to watch this video, and please let me know what you think about this conversation down below.
Coaches, welcome to Beachbody Champions page today. Sorry for the difficulty or the delay this morning with this working from home situation that we.
Beachbody Champions page is just a Beachbody coach training YouTube page, Facebook page, just where they like to put in resources for the coaches.
We're kind of experiencing some internet difficulties with everybody wanting to be on at the same time.
Sorry. This is in March 2020, so at the very beginning of the pandemic.
Super excited to be here today and have a special guest, Jemima Weschler, the VP of Compliance, is going to be coming on today to talk to us a little bit about U+2 and your household account. And she also has a special message that she's going to be bringing to you today from Jonathan Gelfand. So Jemima, welcome. Are you there?
I'm here.
Yay. How's it going?
Good, Jen. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks so much for being on here.
My pleasure. So, good morning, everyone, from my shelter at home here in LA. We're under a new order for those of you outside of California. So all of us are hunkered up at home, enjoying some time here instead of being at our desks. So I appreciate you taking the time to be with us this morning. I wanted to start out, I know that the topic today was about credit card usage and our U+2 policy, but just in light of current conditions and the challenges that we're all facing right now, I wanted to take a quick moment and just readdress a point that was made by our general counsel earlier this week relative to product claims right now in light of the discussions ongoing about the COVID-19 situation. As you all may know, obviously there are a lot of products marketed that are erroneously making claims about their ability to prevent the virus from affecting you or to cure something. And we want to be 100% clear that.
So if you were watching anti-MLM YouTube content back in 2020, you would have seen countless videos with MLM reps talking about how their products can cure or prevent you from getting COVID-19. A big one I remember would be the Young Living company that provides essential oils, lots of claims about essential oils, doTERRA as well. I saw Plexus ones, any of the health and wellness MLMs, people were claiming that the pills, the supplements, the protein shakes could cure or prevent COVID. It was just a way to prey on people's fear and vulnerability around COVID-19, because during that time, 99.99% of people were scared that they were going to get sick and potentially get one of their loved ones sick who might be more vulnerable to more severe outcomes to COVID. And unfortunately, MLM pills, MLM essential oils are not going to cure COVID, but that was just one of the ways that MLM reps were taught and strongly encouraged to use the pandemic for their advantage. The other one, of course, was finances. Lots of people were being furloughed, people were being fired because there was less revenue in businesses and people were losing their jobs. So MLMs were preying on health, fears around health, and fears around finances.
In terms of any product claims that you would ever want to make about our Beachbody products, our programs, our nutritional products, especially in light of the current conditions and concerns, we are never to make any product claims that our products cure, prevent, treat, etc., any illness, any chronic condition, any disease, anything of that nature. Please, please do not make such claims. It's super important that we stay out of that space. from a regulatory concern, the regulators from the Federal Trade Commission on down to consumer watchdog groups are aggressively looking for these kinds of claims and taking immediate and urgent and very strong legal action, both against companies and against individual distributors.
Do you like that little bit of fear mongering there, not only against companies, but against individual distributors as well? I smiled when she mentioned chronic conditions because years ago, or not years ago, 2 years ago, when I was first starting to be interested in this kind of content, I came across a Beachbody team call where someone was sitting there saying that her hypothyroidism was reversed only through using Shakeology and exercising. And I left a really snarky comment saying, oh, can Shakeology grow me a thyroid? Because I have hypothyroidism because I had to get my thyroid removed. And I just thought it was so funny. My comment was so funny saying like, can your shake grow me a thyroid? Can Beachbody grow organs now for people? And I also said, you can't just claim that a chronic condition can be reversed. It's chronic, it's for life. But then I did do a little bit of research after the fact, and I found that you can reverse hypothyroidism without medication, but it should be done in close collaboration with your doctor. It should not be done because a lady on the internet in Beachbody tells you that you can reverse your chronic condition with Shakeology. We've seen not most Beachbody programs, there are generally health claims, especially the 4-week gut protocol. People claim that their gastrointestinal issues are gone, their bloating is gone, their gas is gone. People have claimed, yes, hypothyroidism is magically cured. People are off medication, their blood pressure is lowered. So it's so interesting that someone in compliance is saying one thing, do not make health claims. But then I feel like every second coach you see on Instagram is making health claims. One that I found especially frustrating and predatory was during the 4-week gut protocol launch. One of the top coaches was talking about how her menstrual cycle in her first menstrual cycle on the 4-week gut protocol was vastly improved. She did not have an extremely heavy flow. Her hormones, she said her hormones felt more in balance. Her cramps were less severe. Her mood swings were less severe. She was sleeping better. And she claimed it was because of the 4-week gut protocol. And this made me especially upset because for so many women, their menstrual cycles are extremely painful and can be debilitating. I can't speak. You know what I mean? It can really impact your quality of life for 1 week every single month. And I hated the fact that through that post, that coach seemed to be preying on the women who just want some kind of solution, some kind of relief during their menstrual cycle every single month. And they might see that and say, wow, well, if she can have a better cycle, so can I. And instead of thinking, okay, well, sometimes menstrual cycles just are better 1 month or worse 1 month, chances are it did not change that drastically just because of the 4-week gut protocol. Sorry, that was a bit of a ramble, but let me know what you think about Beachbody and health claims down below.
So we want to keep you all out of that harm's way. If you, as a point of reference, you can find Jonathan's post both on my Facebook page and on the VIP Coach Relations page, as well as for those of you on the roundtable, it was also posted there. And I think we posted it in the Champions page, but if not, I'll take a look at that after we're done today. But just wanted to take a brief moment to highlight that when we got started this morning. So just a really important topic for the moment. But let's move on. Let's talk about credit card usage. And I wanted to just clarify some things around our credit card policy, as I know it's a common point of discussion for those of you not only new to the Beachbody coach role, but also for those of you growing fantastic teams in your communities. So I wanted to just address a few points simply with some clarification over certain misconceptions about our credit card policy. Our credit card policy, which we often refer to in our email communications and in our trainings as U+2, is such that as a coach, you can use your credit card for your own account, as well as 2 other family members who are either coaches or customers with Team Beachbody.
That means that you're just paying for their products with your credit card, or if they're a coach, if your family members, are a Beachbody coach, you're paying their monthly business fee.
And we limit those family members to either your parent, your spouse, or your child. In terms of parents, yes, that's your parents or your in-laws. Obviously your spouse or your domestic partner we're not requiring a marriage certificate or anything that formal. So spouse, partner, fiance, live-in partner, whatever might be applicable to your personal situation.
I feel like that's just going to leave space for abuse of that policy, which we're going to learn later that it is abused majorly. But why can't you just say like parents or spouse? Because someone might say, oh, well, I'm engaged. John Smith is my fiance, even though they might just be dating. And like, there's no way that Beachbody can prove whether or not you're engaged to John Smith. So I feel like it would make more sense just to have a more strict definition.
And then children, meaning your children. What it doesn't include: aunts and uncles, siblings, grandchildren, extended family. It seems natural that it should be for anybody in your family, but we do, for a variety of reasons, have to make a limit. So again, our limit for usage is either for your parent, your spouse, or your child. As we go about our orders that we receive at Team Beachbody on a daily basis, we review every order at Beachbody for the network. Every order that comes in gets reviewed. Really, because we want to make sure that if there's anything left off in your request or anything of question, that we reach out to you first so that we can make sure we deliver you exactly what you want. And sometimes, as you can imagine, we get orders that are questionable either because of quantity or the particular selection of product they're asking for. So we'll reach out through.
I think she means in relation to quantity, maybe someone who's trying to inventory load. So she's going to talk about this later, but someone who's buying more products than they could actually reasonably use just so they can meet their personal volume requirements and meet their ranking requirements. That's what I think that means.
Through our financial ops team and other service teams to make sure that we have your order correct. But as a result of that, you may see emails coming from my team, the compliance team, that cover credit card usage, because as part of the order review, we're looking to see who's paying for it and who's receiving the goods. And so for that reason, our team.
She's going to talk about this later again, but there's no way to actually guarantee who's receiving the goods. So you could be paying for it for your mom, but you could be using the goods for yourself, right? You could just be stocking up on products to maybe send out samples or maybe like you do giveaways with your team. And so I don't understand how you can actually enforce that and how you can actually prove where the products are going. What do you think?
Team, based on a weekly report that we receive, sends out a weekly set of emails. Now, if it's your credit card in question, we're going to address the email to you and we're going to copy your sponsor, just as a matter of making sure we can communicate with you. And if you might be traveling or not checking email too often, your sponsor's also aware that we're trying to reach out to you. My best advice, if you get an email from us, just write us back. You're welcome to call if you'd like to. Right now, obviously, we're not in the office to receive your call, but ordinarily you're welcome to call and ask any questions that you have.
Just call us back. However, we're not in the office, so you can't call us back. I work in a smaller company, obviously, than Beachbody, and there were things put in place at the beginning of the pandemic to ensure we could still receive calls from the office. So I don't understand why Beachbody, which they claim is $1 billion company, why there wasn't like infrastructure put in place during COVID, maybe like rerouting office calls to their personal cell phone or like a temporary little phone that people can use for Beachbody business while like corporate Beachbody business while they're at home. I think that's really crappy customer service, and you shouldn't be using a pandemic as an excuse to not have customer service. Can you imagine getting an email from compliance and not knowing why you're getting an email from compliance? And I could imagine it would be pretty worrisome, and you might think that you could be getting your account deactivated. Because remember, Beachbody corporate likes to claim that we're all Beachbody business owners, but in reality, your account can be canceled and terminated at any time, and you might not even know why.
But if you get an email, just respond to us with the information we're asking. And certainly if you have additional questions about what we're asking, let us know. We're happy to answer any questions anytime. But we'll go ahead and send those emails out weekly based on what comes up on our reports. And then we'll give you a certain amount of time in which we ask you to respond to inform us who those people are. If they're an allowable usage, a parent, a spouse, or a child, and you're not over 2 people, which is your limit besides yourself, then we'll mark those accounts so that we know it's not of concern for any sort of future transactions.
Something I always wonder about is, do you think that Beachbody coaches don't have their credit card numbers on more than 2 accounts, but are really paying from additional accounts? So say I'm in Beachbody and I'm paying for my fiance and my parent, correct? And then what if I want to pay for a bunch of my other friends, but I can't put my credit card number on their account? So they're paying for it and then I pay them back. And then in Beachbody, if I manipulate them into signing up as a coach, I would have all those people underneath me, but I'm controlling the accounts, I'm paying for the accounts, but Beachbody isn't going to know. Like, it's not that hard of a policy to get around and abuse, in my opinion. I'm thinking about that because I've seen coaches talk about how they were 5-star diamond, but like they only had like 1 or 2 real diamonds that weren't them. So for example, their second business center, that counts when you're trying to qualify for elite. So there's your 1 diamond, then your spouse account is the other diamond. Say your mom account is the other diamond. Your grandma account is another diamond. And then you have 1 actual real diamond who's not under one of your controlled accounts, which she's going to talk about later. It seems like it would be so easy just to manipulate the compensation plan and set it up in a way that benefits you. I saw one of the top 10 coaches talk about one of her coaches who recently achieved 5-star diamond, but then when she showed the diamonds in the woman's downline, there were only 3. Why are there only 3? That's because she probably got her husband to diamond and she was using her second business center for diamond. What do you think?
If it happens to be somebody that isn't allowed under the allowance that we provide for, then we'll ask you to take corrective action and have that person update their card on file. And we'll give you time to do that.
What does corrective action mean? So would that just mean that the person has to put their credit card number in and then they're paying for the products, not you? I wonder what that means.
Actually, if you don't respond, what we will do is we'll place your commissions on hold. That means anything that you have pending to be paid out to you or that you might earn in the future until this matter is corrected just gets placed on hold. And you don't lose those earnings, but we're just asking for your help in correcting matters before we release payment to you.
So this policy, in my opinion, seems really convoluted and easy to manipulate, but then it's not a very easy policy to understand, but these people are being punished by their payment being withheld. Maybe Beachbody needs to communicate their policies a little bit better so their coaches actually know what's going on and they know what they can and can't do. And maybe you need to have policies that are actually enforceable, that you can prove people are following, because this, like, ensuring that the products purchased by your 2 accounts are actually going to them and not to you, that's impossible to prove, in my opinion. You can just say that your long-term boyfriend is your fiance and no one will know.
So it's super important to go ahead and write back to us or reach out to us so that we can help work with you on any necessary updates. And we really appreciate your help in doing so. At the same time, yeah.
Can I interrupt you for a second? I have a question that coaches ask often. Is they have 2 people that they have been using on their credit card account, and they want to switch it to somebody else. Can you kind of walk us through what that entails?
Absolutely, Jen. That's a great question. And you can contact us anytime. So if, to Jen's point, let's say you were paying for your spouse and your mother, and you wanted to change that up, just reach out to the compliance department. We have an email address. It's compliance@beachbody.com. Super simple to remember. And you can reach out to us. Let us know. Right now I'm paying for this person and that person. Now I'd like to pay for these 2 people. So you can change that up at any point, so long as those new people that you'd like to switch to are still falling under that allowance of a parent, spouse, or child. So hopefully that helps with that question. So in terms of credit card usage, the other thing that's important to note, even if you're paying for someone who is allowed under the parent, spouse, or child permissions, What's important is that you're using your card to pay for services for them or product that they themselves are receiving. You cannot take your credit card and place it on their account to make purchases for yourself. So anything you're buying for yourself, whether it's your monthly Shakeology order, whether it's a new order for other nutritionals, or maybe for a new launch of a new product, or maybe for BOD if you're not yet a BOD subscriber, all of that needs to be placed on your own account. And the reason we ask you to do that is if you're using your credit card elsewhere on another person's account for product that's for yourself, you may be propping or holding your rank. And that in itself is something that is considered compensation plan manipulation, which is
Yes, exactly. And it's not that hard to do, in my opinion. If you're lucky enough to sign up your spouse as a preferred customer, as a coach, so they're in your genealogy, they're in your direct downline. And we learned a long time ago on this channel that you have to sign up your spouse as a coach at the very beginning. So then you can take all the volume that they accumulate. And obviously, it's part of your paycheck. But if you're controlling that spouse account and you are having trouble cycling on whichever leg your spouse is on, you can just make sure to purchase more on that account so you get more points. And you can make sure that you can put people underneath your spouse account so your spouse account can hit Success Club. And then you, as their upline, are going to get leadership points to get yourself started on the Beachbody Road to Elite. I might do a video on that at some point, but I feel like it might be a little bit of a boring conversation. Again, how are you supposed to prove that what you're purchasing, you're not using yourself? Because I've seen lots of Beachbody coaches say, well, you don't have to purchase Shakeology under your spouse's account because you don't need 2 Shakeologies a month, but you might want to try Energize, you might want to try Bevy, or the what else? The protein powder. They have protein powder now. They have everything. They literally have everything. Just use your spouse account to try new products that you might not want to buy under your account, or to collect samples that you can send out to people, or that you can give away in contests. So again, compliance is saying one thing, every single coach in the network is doing another. I don't think compliance really cares as long as coaches are staying in the system, are continuing to pay their coach service fee, and are continuing to meet their 90 personal volume requirements that the vast majority of coaches are going to meet so they can be qualified for a Success Club. What do you think?
From a regulatory standpoint, a big no-no. You may often hear the term used, pyramid scheme, which is a sort of common descriptor for a lot of people who think that direct sales or multi-level marketing is not an authentic means of business.
I said this 6,000 times on my channel so far, but if everyone was thinking that your job's a pyramid scheme, a lot of them with very, very, what am I trying to say? A lot of it with facts and research and videos and books written about the topic, about MLM being a pyramid scheme, wouldn't that be a red flag? But of course, MLM distributors are taught to not look at outside sources of information, are taught, oh, if you have questions, just go to your upline, because they want to control the narrative and they want to control what information their distributors have access to.
I feel it's a great means of business that allows hundreds of thousands of you around the country and around the world at this point to participate with us in providing great services to people all over.
Of course, you're going to say it's a great business, of course, because you benefit. The distributors in Beachbody pay your salary, unfortunately. And so, of course, you're going to say that.
But we do want to make sure that we are operating our business compliantly within not only our standards, but within industry standards. And that's, again, another reason that we have this credit card policy. In terms of the other common question, or one of the other common questions Jen and I were chatting about before we got started this morning, was an associated question that comes up a lot about a spouse account.
I did a video a long time ago about why you should sign up your spouse as your first coach. And I thought it was okay to just work your spouse account, but then someone was nice enough to provide me some backup information about the policy. And I actually learned from them that you can't do that. It's illegal, and you can get your account terminated because of that. So this is related to that.
So you are welcome when you become a coach to have your family members join you, whether as coaches or as customers. Very often it's common that you might decide that your spouse would also like to be a coach. And what's important to note is a couple of things. One is that if your spouse wants to join you as a coach, we welcome them to do so, but it's super important that they sign themselves up. You don't.
We see in every Beachbody video about getting to Emerald, just sign up your spouse, get their social insurance number, tell them you're signing them up, and tell them don't worry about it. And people will just sign up their spouses without really the permission, and they'll just tell them after. And they encourage their coaches, their downline, to do the same, because the narrative that is pushed is if your spouse loves you and supports you, they'll do this and they'll want you to be happy. So of course, just sign them up and tell them later.
Don't sign them up yourself. You don't operate their account. You don't create an account that you open in their name and call it your quote unquote spouse account.
Literally every coach in the network does this. You're told to get to Emerald, you need to sign up your spouse account so you can run that account yourself, and then like your mom or something. And then you have to sign up your spouse account first, preferably on your weak leg, because you can control that account and you can control how much volume comes out of that account. Because I'm not going to go into detail, there's a whole long ass video about it, but say Bob is up here, Susie's up here, everyone I recruit goes under Bob, and then all those people make up Bob's volume. And then I will also be collecting Bob's team cycle bonus and his matching bonus as well. But remember, when coaches do that, they are paying the monthly business fee for 2 accounts, at least 2, if not more than 2. And they're also paying the personal volume requirements, which is 90 personal volume for Success Club. And then if you're diamond and above, it is above 90 personal volume points. And it's also used to collect leadership points. So if you've already hit Success Club on your main account and you put coaches under your spouse account, and you can get Success Club points. We also hear to get to diamond, oh, well, just get your spouse account to Emerald. And then if you want to get to 2-star, 1-star, 2-star diamond, just get your spouse account to diamond, and so on up the pyramid. I've heard probably 20, 30 coaches say on YouTube, you have to have an account you can control. You have to have a spouse account that you can control how much volume comes out of that account, and you can control the rank of your spouse account. Unfortunately, for the vast majority of Beachbody coaches, you're not going to be able to get your spouse account to a higher rank for it to actually make a difference. And you're just going to be going into greater and greater debt, as I just said, paying the coach fee and the personal volume requirements. What do you think?
You as a coach are allowed to have one account for yourself until you achieve the paid rank of 2-star diamond, at which point you're allowed to open up another CBC. But there is no such thing as a spouse account.
Tell your coaches that every coach in your network has a spouse account, and they teach all their coaches to have a spouse account and use that account to rank up and, as you said, manipulate the compensation plan. So every single one of your coaches is non-compliant. Now,
a lot of people mention to us that they've heard from another coach, whether it's an upline, whether it's a crossline coach, that maybe in a group that they're a common group that they're in, a challenge group that they're in, that they were told to do this. Where you have questions, if you think that you're sort of in that muddy space and you aren't quite clear about what is permitted or what isn't permitted, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We would much rather you proactively reach out to us and ask questions, rather than us having to make, difficult decisions or difficult calls later down the road.
The commenter on my past video who corrected me about the policy said that Deanna Mims has shared about people's accounts being deactivated and terminated because of breaking this U+2 policy. And imagine how heartbreaking that would be if you were just following the directions of your upline and you think you're being given appropriate information, but then you realize you're actually breaking the rules and you're actually being non-compliant. And then if it's your personal account or your spouse account, that's still income being lost for your family. Even though you are breaking the rules, you're doing it unintentionally. And uplines are telling their downlines to do this just to help them rank up, because it benefits them to have emeralds and then diamonds and 1-star. And every single one will tell you, have a spouse account you control.
The more you can have things set up the right way earlier on in your business, the better we can help you as you continue to grow and hit those amazing goals that you have for yourself. So again, there is no such thing as a quote unquote spouse account, but your spouse
Tell your coaches
is welcome to be a coach in your organization. And then let's see, what else? Maybe.
So you're allowed to have your spouse under you if they're actively building their own Beachbody business, but you cannot have them under you and you just building their account and putting coaches under their account and just calling it your spouse account. So that's the difference here.
Maybe one other thing I would mention, Jen, before I let you jump in again.
Okay, you're good.
One other really simple thing is, with regards to credit card usage and you receiving a notification from compliance, just remember, you don't have to wait for us to reach out to you. You can always just reach out to us. If you're a new coach and you've just signed up and you know that you're using your card on another family member's account as permitted, you can always reach out to us and just let us know, provide us the pertinent information, and we'll note the account right there and then. And that way you don't have to necessarily wait for it to come up in a weekly review where we send you an email, but you can always just let us know at your convenience. And we appreciate that. We're always here to answer your questions or help you with any sort of concerns that you have. So use us as a resource and a sounding board. We have an amazing compliance team.
While I'm thinking about this, that's a weird time to stop. I've seen top coaches like Ashley Molstead and elite coaches all over Beachbody talk about, they don't say we're breaking the policy out front, but talk about having a spouse account they can control. And I'm sure Beachbody is aware of their top coaches breaking the rules. But of course, do you really think Beachbody is going to terminate a 10-star diamond account, a 15-star diamond account, past top coach account? With how much money, say, Melanie Mitro or Ashley Molstead is bringing into the company? Of course not. I think the threat of having your account terminated would be more probable for those at the bottom of the company who are not actually bringing that much money into Beachbody. Someone who might be a diamond or below would get their account terminated before Ashley Molstead would, which is unfortunate because it should be anyone who breaks the rules should be terminated, not just the people who are at the bottom. And accounts should be terminated, assuming that there's actual proper training being done at these MLMs. There should be an attainable and easy to read policy booklet that is handed out to every new Beachbody coach. There should be mandatory, easy to understand policy training done for every new coach, say before their first week as a coach is done. So everyone knows exactly what they're allowed to do and exactly what they're not allowed to do, because I don't think it's fair for someone to be terminated if they don't know the rule and if they're just following their upline's instructions. But I think there needs to be equal treatment across the board. Ashley Molstead breaking the rules should be terminated if Jessica, who's a diamond coach, breaks the rules and is terminated. Do you know what I mean?
Team, we have Spanish speakers, we have French speakers, so we're ready for any and all, and we welcome any sort of inquiries or help that we can provide to you.
Thanks, Jemima, for clarifying some things that a lot of coaches have questions for.
Sure.
Regarding coaches having their spouses sign up. They have to sign up, they have to run the account, but you as a coach, you're allowed to help them with their business, right? If they're signing up underneath you?
Absolutely. We expect that spouses work together, and many of you work so incredibly well together. Sometimes one of you will be more the face of the business and one of you will be more behind the scenes, often running reports and doing team trainings. We love the fact that spouses and families work together. It's part of what makes our community, I think, so fantastic and so incredibly supportive and diverse. So absolutely work the business together, help each other, help train each other, and where we can assist at any point, we're welcome to help in any way we can.
Awesome. Thank you so much for giving us that insight for our coaches and customer today to help with their customers and help with their sign up of coaches and credit card usage. And coaches, just remember, if you have any questions, reach out to compliance at beachbody.com. They're always there, willing to help out, willing to help you navigate maybe some questionable things that you might have. Always better to ask and get advice than to find yourself in some particularly muddy waters or find yourself on the wrong side of the fence and have to make amends. I feel like it's always easier just to ask straightforward. So thanks, Jemima, again, so much.
That's all I want to talk about today, more of a policy conversation. And sorry if it was a little bit dry. I feel like there was a lot that was covered here. One, health claims during the pandemic and just in general. Two, you can't use your credit card for like your aunt or your uncle or your grandma. Three, the U+2 policy and how there's no such thing as a spouse account. And all the top coaches, every single upline in the company is telling you to do something that is actually against the rules and is non-compliant and can actually get one of your accounts terminated, which is really sad. What do you think about all those topics? I'd love to hear that down below. That's all I have for today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.